Your CPA is robbing you blind, and they're doing it legally. Look, I don't care how long you work with them or how much you trust them. If they haven't told you about cost segregation, they're potentially costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, if you ever felt like you're paying way too much in taxes as a real estate investor, smash that like button right now. All right, before the tax police come after me, I'm not a CPA or a tax professional. This is not tax advice. This is me showing you what questions you need to ask the professionals that you hire. Always consult your qualified tax advisor before making any financial decisions. But here's a truth that nobody wants to talk about. Most CPAs are not in the business of making you wealthy. They are in the business of filing your taxes. There's a huge difference. And I'm not just making this up. This happened in my own family. My parents had the same CPA for over 30 years, a family friend, who never once mentioned cost segregation to them. Not once. 3 decades of overpaying taxes by thousands and thousands of dollars every single year. I'm laughing because it's hilarious. You know who finally told them? Me, their son, not the professional they were paying good money to. And when we finally ran the numbers, they had to fire their CPA and find someone who actually knew what they were doing. Quick question. Has your CPA ever specifically mentioned cost segregation to you? Stop the video right now and comment yes or no below. I'm dead serious. I want to know how many of you are getting robbed just like my parents were. So what exactly is cost segregation? Grab a pen, seriously, pause the video now and get something to write with because this is about to save you guys a fortune. Got it? Good. Normally, when you buy a property, the IRS lets you depreciate it slowly over 27.5 years for residential real estate. That's called MACRS, or Modified Accelerated Cost Recovery System. If you don't know what MACRS is, write it down now. This is the boring standard way the IRS lets you write off your entire building bit by bit over nearly 3 decades. But here's where it gets interesting. Cost segregation lets you break down that property into its individual components: the kitchen cabinets, the flooring, the appliances, the window treatment, even the landscaping and the parking lot. Each of these components has a different lifespan according to the IRS. Some are 5-year assets, some are 7-year assets, and some are 15-year assets. And instead of waiting 27.5 years to write the tax write-offs, you can pull these savings now forward and use them immediately. If you own investment property and you've never heard of this before, drop an emoji in the comments. I want to see how many of you are just learning about this gold mine. Now, let me show you how powerful this is with real numbers. Say you buy a $1.5 million investment property, which is typical in San Jose. The land is worth $300,000. Land is not depreciable. You can't write that off. So that leaves $1.2 million for the building. Under the regular MACRS method, you'd write off about $46,636 per year in depreciation. That's a $1.2 million divided by 27.5 years. But with cost segregation, let's say 30% of your building value, or $360,000, gets moved into faster depreciating categories. Now, instead of writing off $46,636 per year, you're getting $72,000 per year in depreciation. That's an extra $28,364 in deductions in year one. And if you're in a 37% tax bracket, that's an extra $10,495 in your pocket. Not in 27 years, this year. And it gets even better. This is where you really need to pay attention. So under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, Trump tax cuts, I don't care what your leanings are, this is real. Under the Trump tax cuts, bonus depreciation used to be 100%, meaning you could write off all of those segmented cost components in year one. But here's the urgent part. In 2023, it dropped to 80%. In 2024, it dropped to 60%. And in 2025, it goes to 40%. And by year 2027, it's all gone. The clock is ticking. If you're thinking, maybe I'll do this eventually might cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Now, if you've been thinking about buying an investment property, but you haven't pulled the trigger yet, comment timing below. The timing of your purchase matters more than ever right now. And here's where most investors get stuck. Your standard CPA has no idea how to implement the strategy correctly. They might have not even heard about it, and they don't know the nuts and bolts if they have. You need someone who works specifically with cost segregation analysts and knows the real estate tax law inside out. Think about it. Would you go to a general doctor for brain surgery? Of course not. So why are you trusting a general CPA with specialized real estate tax strategies? If you're starting to realize your CPA might not be the right fit to your real estate portfolio, type new CPA in the comments. It might be time for an upgrade. But let me tell you something else that's kind of gold here. By the way, did you know that you can do something similar with certain vehicles? If you buy a vehicle that weighs over 6,000 pounds, like a Mercedes G-Wagon, Cadillac Escalades, or even certain pickup trucks, you may be able to depreciate the entire cost in 1 year under tax code 179. Ever wonder why so many successful real estate investors drive massive SUVs? Well, now you know. So if you've been eyeing a luxury SUV but couldn't justify the cost, comment G-Wagon below. This might be the sign that you've been waiting for. And by the way, it's not just for SUVs. Any Mercedes S-Class, any BMW 7 Series will probably qualify for that as well. So is cost segregation worth it? Well, let me break it down. If you own investment property worth at least $500,000 and you haven't done a cost segregation study, you're probably overpaying in your taxes, period. If your CPA has never mentioned this to you, it might be time to find a new CPA who specializes in real estate. And if you want to maximize your wealth, you need qualified professionals who understand these strategies completely. Most investors never take advantage of this simply because nobody told them. But now you know. One more time. I am not a CPA. This is not tax advice. This is education. You should consult a qualified tax professional before making any moves. But here's what I want you to do right now. If you know anyone who owns investment property, stop this video right now and send it to them. I'm dead serious. Hit pause, share this with them, and then come back. Did you do it? All right, good. Because if you just save someone $100,000 in taxes, they're going to owe you big time. And that's the kind of friend everyone wants to have. If this video opened your eyes, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next wealth building strategy. Drop a comment below if you have questions. I try to answer as many as I can as soon as I can. And remember, your CPA works for you. If they're not helping you build wealth, it might be time to find someone who will. So, see you in the next one.